I was just going through the next set of Caleb and Sophia videos, and something I made note of when watching these is the fact that some of these do legitimately have an okay message. I mentioned this in another video, but I feel like it's important to point out that not everything that Jehovah's Witnesses teach is outright harmful. Some things are legitimately useful. It's just that they almost always apply solely to other Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyways, the next Caleb and Sophia video is called Be Kind and Share. So let's see if it teaches a value that's worth propagating and if that value is too warped to recognize. Let's get into it.
Caleb, Sophia, I have presents for you.
Presents?
Ooh, presents! Awesome, a new car!
Ooh, paintbrushes. Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, Mommy.
These are mine.
Give it back, it's my toy!
Come on, Caleb. Let me see.
No! Come on, give it back! Stop!
Okay, kids. Looks like we need a lesson on sharing.
Whoa!
When Jehovah created the paradise,
Oh, here we go again. Literally everything comes back to Jehovah. Isn't there another reason, any reason at all, to do good things that doesn't involve God in some way? Can they actually not see any other benefit to being good? Absolutely none. It baffles me when people say things like, if I were an atheist, then I would be a murderer. What? You would? That's concerning. That means you have these underlying urges and you're basically a heartbeat away from acting on them as is. The only thing preventing you is, what? Hope that you'll get into heaven or something? That's not a good reason to be a good person, at all. I share with people because, for one thing, that's how I was raised, to share. But I see the value in sharing because I would want other people to share if they had it and I didn't. I want to live in a world where there's more altruism. People help each other. I believe that society thrives on a fundamental level more when they share things than when selfishness takes over. I think that's something basically everybody can agree with.
do you think he kept all of the animals to himself?
No,
He shared all his animals.
even the cute little ones.
That's right. Jehovah shares everything with us. So what do you think you should do?
Okay, so what they're saying here is that we should share because Jehovah shares, and we want to be like him. But I just want to debunk that idea right now. Jehovah does not share. That is the flimsiest of examples, but it's the best they could find. God didn't create the animals for his own enjoyment. He supposedly created man to glorify himself, and the animals as man's plaything, pretty much. He created the animals for man. It wasn't a matter of sharing. It isn't like God got to take the animals to heaven on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and they alternate on Sundays. He gave them to man, and then he demanded that man love him. And if man doesn't love him, then he kills him. That's simple. So I don't accept the example they gave of God sharing with people. Now let's look at some counterexamples that outright disprove their claims about God being a sharer. Exodus 25 is probably my favorite. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me. Exodus 34:14. For you shall worship no other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God. Deuteronomy 4:24. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. Those are just about jealousy, and they're just a few verses from the Old Testament. They're in the New Testament too, and there are an awful lot of them. God isn't about sharing at all, not even a little bit. So let's find an actual reason to share. Okay, let's take a look at the next Caleb and Sophia clip.
Whoa!
Caleb, you broke my toy.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
You always say that.
Well, I am sorry.
Well, that won't fix my toy.
What's wrong, children?
He broke my toy. I told him not to touch it.
I said I was sorry.
You always say you're sorry.
Okay, children. So Caleb broke your toy.
But that's not all he did. He ate my ice cream, he went into my room without asking, and he scribbled on my songbook.
Well, I am sorry.
Okay, so we've got the dad tallying things up here. I'm sure you guys already see where this is going. Let's continue.
Sophia, can you think of anything you have done wrong?
Well, I forgot to make up my bed. I lost my homework. And I didn't do the dishes.
Yes, it's not easy to remember our mistakes. But are you sorry? Do you know what Jehovah does when we are truly sorry? He reminds us at Ephesians 4:32. It says, God freely forgave you. Sophia, what does it mean to freely forgive?
I am sorry, Sophia.
It's okay, Caleb. I forgive you.
Ah, good children. That makes Jehovah very happy.
Anybody know where the mess came from?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I can see the value in that on some level, but you can't erase everybody's mistakes every time. As great as that would be, it's unrealistic. What if you had a boyfriend who habitually cheats on you? Do you continue to forgive him? Do you just forget about it? That's really at the heart of the discussion, because my mom was told to take on this attitude toward my dad when he was abusing us kids and doing all the other terrible stuff he did long and long ago. She was expected to just forgive him for it, because she was scripturally bound to stay with him. He didn't actually sleep with another woman, which is the only reason for divorce, as far as Jehovah's Witnesses are concerned. And as I've mentioned before, you're allowed to physically separate from your spouse and live in another house, but there have to be one of three things taking place, or you could get in some serious shit for it. And bear in mind, it has to be the most extreme of the extreme to warrant physical separation. When you do separate, you won't be allowed to remarry, and thus you won't be able to sleep with anybody else ever again. Completely celibate for the rest of your life, unless you get back with a perpetrating spouse. So here's what warrants you leaving your spouse, according to Jehovah's Witnesses. There has to be extreme physical abuse. I don't mean your spouse hits you. I mean they beat the shit out of you. I mean you had to go to the hospital. According to Jehovah's Witnesses website, your life has to be in danger to warrant a physical separation. The second reason for separating is physical non-support. So they're capable of working, they've been offered a job, but they refuse to take it. It isn't like they can't find one or they're handicapped, so they just can't work. It has to be a seriously extreme case. The person refuses to work, or they refuse to take care of you. And finally, the third reason for physical separation is spiritual non-support. This one's a lot more lenient than the others. The elders will likely encourage you to stay together to start out, but they'll eventually say, you know what? We don't know what's going on. We don't live there. You have to be the judge, and let the dice fall where they fall. As I've mentioned before, my dad was pretty physically abusive growing up. My mom left him over and over again, and was told by the elders to go back over and over again. But when he got disfellowshipped is when it actually stuck. She left, and they didn't tell her to go back that time. She caught wind that he had a girlfriend, then he admitted it to her on the phone, and that's all she needed to be scripturally free to divorce him. So she did. The years of abuse of all 4 of her kids and herself didn't free my mom to move out of the house even, according to Jehovah's Witnesses. We all had to put up with it. But you know something else I find interesting? Child sex abuse isn't on the list of reasons to leave your husband. I don't know, maybe it falls under one of the others under a technicality. So are Jehovah's Witnesses told to forgive people? Are they encouraged to forgive? Yes, they are, as long as it suits the purposes of the Watchtower Society. The moment somebody gets a girlfriend, the parents are told to shun them, intentionally, completely destroy the relationship between themselves and their children. That doesn't sound like forgiveness to me. I'd say Jehovah's Witnesses' gauge of what should and shouldn't be forgiven is completely twisted into a knot. They treat having a drink of alcohol the same as committing a murder. They treat child sex abuse the same as refusing to get a job, if they acknowledge the abuse at all. Most of the time they don't. They treat this stuff as a sin, not a crime. And that's the core issue here. So I think I'll keep this video to myself. I don't think I need my kid to watch it to figure out if she should forgive somebody for something or not. I feel a lot more comfortable with my own moral compass, not just with this video, but with literally every Caleb and Sophia video I've seen up to this point. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. Check me out on Patreon. That's my method for staying alive right now. YouTube is so ridiculously volatile. It's hard to tell what it's gonna bring in from month to month, or if it'll bring in anything at all. I seriously rely on Patreon to keep my activism going, so everything you guys decide you can do is deeply appreciated. Also, check me out on all social media and check out my podcast where I'm reading through Jehovah's Witnesses' new book called Pure Worship of Jehovah. All links are in the description as always. Thanks for watching, guys.